Hey, what's going on guys? Chad here with Greenlight Shooting, and today we've got a new review video for you on the Sig Sauer P320. Today we're at Discount Guns and Ammo near Salt Lake City, Utah. So as always, a big shout out to these guys. Check out their website in the description below if you're interested. Very good guys, very knowledgeable. So let's dive into this. Like I said, today we've got the Sig Sauer P320, and this is actually one of my very first times using this gun. I've held it before, you know, I've used it in a kind of a dry situation, but I've never fired it and I've never really gotten into the real nitty-gritty of this gun. So I'm excited. This is going to be kind of a first impressions review on the gun, and yeah, I'm really excited because it's going to be very raw, very unbiased, and you guys are going to see really how I feel as we go along about this gun. So first things first, let's talk about the different styles that this gun is available in. I think everyone knows, if you're here watching this video, the big claim to fame for the 320 is the fact of its versatility. So you can interchange the frames and you know, so you can buy a subcompact and you can transfer it to, you can buy a full-size frame and just transfer everything back and forth. So you can have multiple sizes of gun with just one purchase of the gun, which is a really cool, really innovative feature by Sig. So we have the subcompact, we have the compact, there's a carry size, and then a full size. So there's 4 sizes that are available in the 320. This specific one is the compact. As far as magazine rounds, the subcompact, which is obviously the smallest, that's going to be holding 12 rounds. The compact holds 15 rounds. The carry is actually really similar to this gun here. The only difference is it's going to hold 17 rounds, so a little bit longer magazine, magazine. And then the full size carries 17 rounds. So that's kind of your breakdown. Like I said, if you buy one, you can actually just go and buy a frame for relatively cheap, like I don't know, under 50 bucks or something for the other frames, and switch between the different sizes. So a very cool idea. But yeah, man, so right here we've got the compact. Like I was saying, we're gonna go out in the range and shoot the full size in a little bit and get a good feel for kind of all the different sizes. So I'm really excited. Let's start off just kind of on the aesthetic and feel side of this thing. So as you can tell, it looks very similar to kind of the Sig P320. It feels very similar as well. It's a good feeling gun, feels very sturdy, very well made, as with most Sig guns. The one thing I will admit is it's a little top heavy and a little front heavy right now. That could definitely be because I have an empty magazine in there. So once you get a full mag, this might balance out a little bit better. But it's a heavy gun certainly, and it's heavy up here in the front for me. Next up, we'll talk about this grip here. So for my hands, this grip's a little bit big. It's not so big that I couldn't shoot it, but it's a little big for my ideal comfort level. So I would prefer something a little bit smaller. The downside is you can't interchange these back straps, from what I understand, because the frames, you can interchange them, so that's the beauty of it. It's just a solid frame, but that unfortunately doesn't allow you to change the size of the grip. So a little bit big for my hands, so if you have a little bit bigger hands, this might be a good option for you. The magazine release button is very easily accessible. It's protruding just enough. It's got good ridges on it. It is on the right-handed side for me right now. I don't know if you can switch it over here, but from just looking at it, it does look like it's interchangeable. So maybe that's something for Google to answer. But anyways, it shoots out that magazine very well. The magazine, like I said, holds 15 rounds in this compact, and the magazine well accepts a new magazine very well. So it's easy to switch back and forth. That's a nice ergonomics for you right there. As with most Sig guns, you're getting stock night sights. I really like that about Sig guns. You guys know I'm a big fan of night sights, so awesome addition there. Unlike the 229 and stuff like that, it's not a hammer fired gun. It is actually a striker fired, so you're getting the same trigger pull every time you pull it, and the trigger is pretty decent. So as you can see, I'm pulling it back to a very distinct wall right there. Once I hit that wall, if I continue pulling, I get a little movement and then a relatively clean break. So not bad. The reset's very audible and you can feel it very easily. So yeah, really good trigger. The trigger is big and flat on the front, which I kind of like with rounded edges. We've got a tack rail on the bottom here. The one thing is with this slide release, the slide release is relatively, it doesn't protrude a whole lot, which I guess is nice if you're carrying it a bunch, but it's a little difficult for me to hit. It's not too bad though. You've got it on both sides, so it is ambidextrous on the slide release, which is a nice addition. But yeah, man, so that's kind of the look and feel of this gun. But now we should probably get into what makes this gun so famous, the versatility aspect of it. Over here I've got the full-size 320. Now the reason I went with the full size is because it's one of the range guns, so that we could take it apart and show you what the insides look like and how the takedown process looks. So it's very easy. We're gonna pull back the slide, lock it back, obviously double checking that we're empty, drop out the magazine, we've got an empty mag, and then we've got a takedown lever here, so we're gonna pull that takedown lever down, okay, and then let that slide release off. Slide comes straight off. Notice I didn't have to pull the trigger, that's kind of nice. So slides all the way off. Now, if you can see now, this internal firing chassis, this is actually the gun. That's the part that's serial numbered. So these frames right here, you can buy all these different frames like I was saying, take that firing chassis out and put it in all the different ones. So it's a very cool system. To take this out, it's actually very simple. I've never done this before, so let's try this. You pull this guy all the way over, and then on the other side, you can push that little pin through and pull out on the lever, kind of twist it out, and then this should just pop out. Maybe. There we go. So check it out. We have the firing chassis. That was pretty cool. That was very, very simple. As I said, that was my first time doing it. So yeah, it was obviously very simple to do. There's the serial number on it right there. So this is the gun. And then if you were switching it between guns, you could have you know, whatever size frame you wanted, and then fit this right inside the other frame. You're going to be, the one thing I will say is you're going to be stuck with whatever slide, barrel, and spring you originally bought. So this is the full size. So if I put this on a subcompact size, you can see right there, it's going to extend past it a little bit. So you're still going to get kind of the subcompact frame, but you're still going to have this same slide. So it's going to be sticking out a little bit, which brings me to another point I want to talk about. If you're going to buy the full size, you've got this long slide and you're going to put it on a subcompact frame. So the slide's going to stick out a little bit, but it's not going to look funny, you know what I mean? It's going to look like a longer slide. If you buy the shorter slide, like the subcompact slide, and then you try and put that on a full-size gun, it'll still work, it'll still function fine, but the frame's going to stick out, and you know, your slide and everything's going to be a little bit further back. So it'll look a little bit funny. Like I said, it'll fire and function just the same. It'll work just fine, but it might look a little bit odd. So I like the idea of buying the bigger slide and going for the smaller frames, but I'll leave that up to you guys. But yeah, man, so let's try and get this thing back together now. See how easy this goes. So I've got the full-size frame here. Now I should say again, this is the frame that you can buy. So, you know, if you were to buy a different size gun, you can buy this for, I think they said anywhere between like 30 and 50 bucks. So it's a pretty good deal. It's really cool to be able to change out. It's very, very light frame, polymer frame, like I'm sure you know, but very light. So let's try and get this firing chassis back in there. So we've got the trigger facing the right way. If we scoot that in there, there's a couple notches here. It looks like we need to line up. So I put the trigger in, I kind of put the back in, and then I snapped this front side back down in, and it looks great. Everything functions back here. Awesome. Let's get this little takedown lever back in there. All right, so we've got the lever back in there. The lever actually has a flat side that you just have to line up with the grooves, and it fits in relatively easily. So we've got that in the down position. We've got the slide here, and if we line these up, take it straight back, lock it back, that lever automatically comes back up. Make sure we cycle, make sure we fire, magazine fits in, or the slide locks back, trigger fires. So very, very cool, very, very simple to manipulate. Yeah, man, let's go and shoot this thing. Let's see how it feels. So that was just a quick sample of how it felt firing. I had to take off from the range pretty quick, so I'm just giving you some of my afterthoughts now. But it was a good firing gun. You know, it felt good at the range. The recoil was manageable. The trigger felt really nice. You know, my natural point of aim was pretty right on, and you know, I could bring the gun back down to my target every single time. So that was nice. The one thing I'll admit is I was fighting with that grip the whole time. I just felt like I didn't have a good grip on the gun, and it was just too big for my hand. So yeah, a quick pros and cons list. Pros wise, the versatility is really cool. I think it's a really cool idea how you can change out the frames. The trigger is great out of the box, and night sights. Night sights were a big deal for me. You guys know that I really like night sights. On the cons side, I would say that while the versatility is really cool, the different sized frames with different sized slide and barrel is still a little odd to me. I don't know. That's still kind of cancels out the ability to change the different sizes for me. Other con is the ability, or I guess the lack of ability to change back straps. That was my biggest flaw with the gun. And maybe I'm doing something wrong. If you guys know of a way to adjust the size of the grip, maybe when you buy the frames, you can buy different size frame grips. I didn't think of that. So you guys that know a little more about the gun might be able to help out with that. So yeah, it's probably just those two cons for me. You know, overall, it's a very nice gun. It really is. It's built very well. It's got the Sig name behind it. There's a lot of stuff to love. I don't know, just from a personal point of view, I guess, it wasn't quite, I wouldn't say it's my first choice, let's put it that way. The balance just felt a little bit off to me, and I don't know, the grip, obviously, like I was saying, is a big deal. Maybe there's some remedies for that I don't know about. But anyways, it's a very nice gun, like I said. I would probably give it like a 3.5 stars out of 5, something like that. So yeah, very good gun. Let me know what you guys think of the gun. If you have any other questions or comments on the reviews, leave them down in the comments below. If this video did help you out, please do me a favor, like the video, share the video, subscribe to the channel, all that good stuff. That helps me out a ton. And yeah, man, we will see you on the next review for green light shooting. Thanks so much for watching. Don't have to worry about this thing getting beat up. The black polymer frame is meant to take a lot of wear, and it doesn't show it at all. I mean, it still looks new to this day, which I love about the gun.